think all this can last? There's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne. You and your friends better batten down the hatches, because when it hits, you're all gonna wonder how you ever thought you could live so large and leave so little for the rest of us.
There it is. There it is. This tornado just touched down. Well, we can see it from right here. It's ripping up trees. It's ripping up everything in its sight. If you're above ground, you need to get to a storm shelter or a safe place right now.
Hey guys, TMF. We're going to take a look at this trailer here, which blatantly portrays Lucifer and reveals the coming of the Antichrist, while hyping up Zion, of course, the next face of the NBA. So upon viewing at regular speed, first be warned, there are subliminal sigils being flashed. So first, we'll view at regular speed and then take a closer look.
It is foretold, greatness will walk among us, one unlike the rest, one of one, the size of a mountain, with heart to match. He'll move like lightning, crash down like thunder, a presence that draws crowds from far and wide. The next generation, everything is game.
as it shows Lucifer and then the Antichrist baby fetus. Listen carefully to what she says.
Greatness will walk among us, one unlike the rest.
Greatness will walk among us, one unlike the rest.
Greatness will walk among us, one unlike the rest. He'll move like lightning. Presence that draws crowds from
I was literally floored as I watched this commercial. It is so in your face with New World Order propaganda and themes, and even much esoteric occultic symbolism and subliminal messages. And what I'd like to do is to break it down by going through some screenshots and showing some articles to back up what I'm saying. And you know, I'm sure that many of you may see the same things. I again don't claim to be an expert on decoding these things. I know many people see things that I don't see, and vice versa. So I would encourage you to look into these things for yourself. But you know, on the outside looking in, you could think, or we could think, that this is just a commercial for shoes, but what I saw is something completely different and much more in your face as to the propaganda and the predictive programming that they are desperately, the establishment is desperately trying to get into our hearts and minds. So the theme of the commercial is called "Your Future Is Not Mine," and we will even look at the lyrics of that song later on. And of course, it looks like, to anyone on the outside looking in or is not awake, this just looks like the Adidas, you know, trademark Adidas stripes going through the word future. But, as we look at some of the screenshots from this commercial, it actually starts off with fire. So to me, right away, this just screams of what is the world, set on fire all of a sudden, something going on that causes the world to be on fire. All right. So it literally focuses on the flames at first, and then it opens on a scene where a person is literally walking through some dark tunnel or alleyway. It's littered with junk and garbage. Cars and other things are on fire. There's dogs running through it. It literally looks like a ghetto. It looks like just some horrible place, something that you'd see out of a scene of Batman Gotham City or something like that, in the underground slums. But it starts off with that. You've got, again, fire and junk everywhere. Does this symbolize the old world must be destroyed first? This is a theme or a line that has been said in many movies about the old world being destroyed so that they can make the new world. As it goes to the next scene, we see yet again the red and blue symbolism, and this person is literally dancing through this fire. To me, it made me think of the Illuminati and the elites just, tickled pink because their plans are coming together, or so they think. He's dancing through this scene of junk and fire that's littered all over the place. And again, the red and blue symbolism, we know from, other studies that the red and blue is the symbol of alchemy, of coming together. It's a combination to open up the third eye, and this is what I believe is yet again going on. We constantly see this red and blue symbolism taking place in so many movies and TV shows and even commercials. All right, then as we go on, we see this same person who's wearing the red and blue and the black and white shoes. He comes across this blackbird, and this blackbird imagery is seen in so many movies as well. We've seen even Lady Gaga that does these kind of things with a blackbird, and she has been shown as posing in a photo as a blackbird. And there's a lot of symbolism that's attached to this blackbird kind of stuff. And I found a great article on Illuminati Watcher that speaks about it. It says the symbolic meaning of blackbirds is eternally linked to the dark versus the light. So there you go. You can see the duality that is taking place here, and talks about nocturnal awareness. It says this is a fundamental mental concept of alchemy, transition, and transformation. The bird is symbolic of life in the heavens, higher ideals, higher path of knowing or higher path of knowledge, and the color black is symbolic of pure potential. Between the two, there is no limit to human transformation. All we have to do is close the shutters of the rational mind and start sojourning with our darkly feathered friends. The blackbirds are symbolic of magic, hidden potential, awareness, and transformation. The Native Americans had great respect for this bird. Several southwestern tribes heralded the raven as the bringer of light that escaped from the darkness of the cosmos. That sounds quite eerily familiar as the devil being, called Lucifer, one of his names, the giver of light, which we know this is the false light. This is not the true light. Other tribes looked upon this bird as a trickster or even a shapeshifter because of its high intelligence and ability to adapt to different situations. Again, sounding like the serpent. We know that Lucifer is referred to a serpent, to a dragon. He can appear in many different forms, definitely, as seen as a shapeshifter. So this is what this raven represents, which is what I believe we are seeing.
Good. Do it.
And now things are about...
Then set it to blow!
How long have you been impersonating the professor?
Alex, what are...
The raven is also bad news, possibility of death, illness, or loss. This one's really interesting. Some Native Americans see the raven as the embodiment of magic. This should signify that you are about to undergo a change in consciousness. Okay, so this is literally what I believe we're seeing in this whole black raven imagery. You can see Lady Gaga, in many different ways posing as this raven. We have seen this kind of imagery in many other movies and TV shows. All right, we've seen this even in stuff like the Mockingjay Hunger Games. Again, this black raven imagery, to me, totally signifying the arrival of the devil, the arrival of the Antichrist, the deceiver, a change in consciousness, as this article states right here. As we saw earlier, it is a shift in consciousness. It is bad news, death. It is all about all these kind of things, transition, transformation.
There is a great awakening going on around the country, particularly among younger people.
That we're in a spiritual war, and it's all manifesting right before our eyes. And this is for your eternity, folks. These people hunt the souls of men. You're not dealing with flesh and blood, okay? Now, this great awakening, this is all I see. Trump is up there on the 4th of July. At first, he's in front of Mount Rushmore, these immortal men. And this is the words that he uses. The giants, the titans, the legends, the immortal men who built this great country.
And it will soon be greater than ever before.
Do you understand? This is who they are. And this great awakening is nothing less than them telling you that they are here. They are coming into this natural world. And Q is literally Legion. It is the great old ones working in the quantum field, just like Gordy Rose tells us.
So I received this message from the heavens. These things are not going to be people. They might be really smart, they might be really good at all sorts of different things, but they're not going to be like us. They're going to be aliens.
And as we go further into this commercial, as soon as this person sees the I like to say the mockingjay, basically the blackbird, it switches to another person walking through this tunnel. And to me, I was immediately reminded of the new age, or a bridge to the new age, something that we spoke about even in the one of the Jaguar commercials. And this person, also wearing red, black, and white. We know that the red, black, and white is symbolism for the New World Order. This is seen in many cases. It's how interesting that the Knights Templar flag is also red, black, and white. How interesting that the Nazi flag was also red, black, and white. Even more interesting, I found it quite fascinating that a picture from Kate Middleton's wedding to Prince William, everything was a red, black, and white color scheme in that church. So, it makes sense that these people are all Freemasons. They are all part of a hidden agenda that the general public, for the most part, just doesn't know about. Thankfully, there are people that are awake to know and see what is going on. But we are definitely living in the time where this New World Order is definitely very close to rising up. And I believe this particular scene could very well symbolize that the New World Order is coming. This person is literally like they're walking through a tunnel or a portal, going to a new age. And then again, it switches to another scene of a person walking through a tunnel. Yet again, we know that tunnels can symbolize going from one transformation to the other, coming out on the other side into the light of Lucifer. We've also got the black and white duality, as above, so below imagery, I believe, happening here with this person walking through this tunnel, and the black and the white duality.
From the World Cup to the Olympics, it is not a significant event if you don't have an unusual opening ceremony to go with it.
The world's longest and deepest train tunnel has opened.
Then it switches to another scene where again you've got the black and white imagery, you've got again the yellow and black imagery for the nuke plutonium-239, whatever you want to call it. But what I found really interesting is that these people are spraying these plants. Okay, so does that mean that they are the Illuminati workers, but they're protected, but the general public, like these two, as they're walking through this supposed greenhouse, they're not protected, but the workers are protected, seemingly to signify that the general public is not protected from the crap that they're spraying onto these plants that we're probably consuming. They're probably doing all these horrible things, which we know they're most likely spraying chemicals and, you know, doing stuff even like the chemtrails and all this kind of thing. So it's quite interesting that again here these two are walking through this plant and these things are being sprayed. All right, then as we go to the next scene, we see this young lady coming out of a car. We see to me what it totally screamed of the CERN symmetry imagery. We've got the duality right here, the total symmetrical, you know, even as she stands in the middle, you've got the total symmetry going on here. I believe this is none other than a way to talk about CERN, to bring in CERN imagery. Again, the as above, so below. Many of us know about the CERN symmetry movie even that they did, that they're talking about opening a portal. They're talking about the light and the darkness, the duality, the black and the white, the as above, so below, that we have got a transformation. They want to take people from where they are now to this spiritual enlightenment. They want to transform people and give them the forbidden knowledge, or at least continue to indoctrinate them into the ways of Lucifer. They want to take people away from discovering the Word of God, from discovering the truth, and they want to keep indoctrinating us into this nonsense.
Seen it, done it, been there, drove that, stuffy, stodgy, boring, snoring, ho, hum, humdrum, dum, dum, num, num. This is the state of our cars? Oh damn, so glam, yes ma'am, grand slam, oh my, so fly, later boring, bye-bye, cherry red, purebred, dopamine to the head, to the head, to the head. OMG, an SUV from Italy, 500 HP, princess, red dress, hell yes, hashtag blessed, pure power, rush hour. Damn, I need a cold shower. Cracking codes, ditching roads, heart screams, mind explodes, wide-eyed, thrill ride, no Jekyll, all hard, there we go, stole the show, say my name. Stelvio.
Unbelievable, isn't it? The whole end of this bland structure, again, with the dismal, boring, bland colours, and the oncoming new age of magic. Seen it, done it, been there, done that. When you get to the core of it, these words are being used to describe the current system, the current society. When you get to the real core of it, Christians, religion. Overcoming religion, overcoming rules and laws.
Stodgy, boring, snoring, ho hum humdrum, dum dum num num. This is the state of our car.
And time itself, it's actually being represented as time itself. Remember, Jesus Christ is the Alpha and the Omega. He is the first and the last, the beginning and the end. So this is showing, this whole section up to this point in this commercial is showing what they do not like.
This is the state of our...
And this is the state of our society. This is the state of our world. You know, so boring and so restrictive, so ordered, so structured.
Been there, drove there, stuffy,
with no colour. You notice every time that they show this colour coming into the picture, they use it as a psychological weapon, manipulation. We're all clones. So this has got another reference to cracking through time, because we have the metronome, which is referencing time, the tempo. And straight after we have this, the two headlights or two eyes coming through this black void. So this is going to show cracking through time yet again. It's all part of it. As I said, Jesus is the Alpha and Omega. And here we go. Here's that whole tunnel CERN symbolism again. You know, and cracking through. These are some very sordid references here. This is referencing blood, but. So I don't want to go too deep into this because it's quite graphic, but deep down at the core of part of their agenda, as we said before, is the sodomy agenda, and a lot of their symbolism, when it comes down to it, is referencing sodomy and their belief of it cracking through the third eye, which is to do with the New Age. I'm sure you don't need me to explain exactly why, you know, there's that reference to the blood, and also to the red, which is the root chakra in their eyes, you know, is to do with the practice of sodomy. So they believe that the root chakra, the sodomy, links to the third eye and is about the enlightenment and the New Age. And so this is why a lot of the colour in this is red, because that references the root chakra and the enlightenment, the false enlightenment. So again, this was from the beginning, it was the bland old age, and now it's referencing this new magical age, much like the J.K. Rowling was showing inadvertently too.
Yes, ma'am.
The new age of magic, of Baal worship. You've got all this symbolism of the lady in red, and this car often representing the male genitalia. And you got the eye symbolism. Of course, this is all the sex magic ritual, and it's about the birthing ritual for the New Age. Again, with the enemy, everything's upside down, so it's a twisted sex magic ritual. It is sodomy.
Dopamine to the head, to the head, to the head. OMG, an SUV from Italy, 500 HP print.
You got all the symbolism of the horse of the apocalypse again, all the same thing.
As hell yes, hashtag blessed, pure power, rush hour. Damn, I need a cold shower.
So we've seen so many of these same animations and designs in car commercials we've covered before, where they're showing this same sex magic ritual for the birth of the New Age.
I need a cold shower.
Okay, so the heart in the secret chambers. Remember, we've seen so many times the cracking through the heart, cracking through time, and how they show CERN along with that as well, quite often. But this is all the same thing. I mean, to me, this is not a car commercial. This is just an occult ritual which is being shown by Alfa Romeo. So there you go, cracking through the heart. You've got the thunder and lightning, cracking through the heart of time, heart of the earth. Look at that, the thunder and lightning. And the matrix. This represents the membrane and the veil. The digital matrix. So cracking through the veil, cracking through the matrix. I mean, unbelievable. You got it there. The heart of time, the matrix. And he says cracking codes. So you can see that this suddenly is becoming very climatic. You know, it's gone from this horrible, you know, bland, boring, colourless, cloned world where everyone's asleep, and it's gradually built up. You can see that this is a ritual because of the way it's slowly building up, showing all of this symbolism that we've mentioned, and then suddenly it gets to this crescendo where we crack through. Look, and the rap goes fast, and it's you can see it's a sex magic ritual. You've got this, look, male anatomy, the red, going along this passage, and this lady reacting in this manner. I don't need to, you don't need to use your imagination. He's talking about Jekyll and Hyde. We've got this black lion. It's all about the devil. It's all about the enemy and his agenda. And the car going along this serpent-like road, but it is like the birthing. It is just the male aspect going along this passage through the tunnel. You see that? The lion, look, the contrast of the lion's mouth with his mouth, roaring. Nimrod, the Antichrist.
Stelvio.
The agenda of Babylon. Alfa Romeo, the cross and the serpent. It is all about cracking through time and the snake eating a man. And in the Bible we are told that God is in control, not these. At the end of the day, God himself sends the strong delusion. The devil is a wind-up toy, so that all who choose unrighteousness and reject the true way of Jesus Christ may fall into the trap of the enemy and the great delusion, because they do not want the truth. They want to follow the lie, and this is where the lie will lead. I mean, I don't know. I feel a great burden on my heart sometimes for people who just do not want to know the truth.
And then it switches to another scene that reminded me of traveling through the tunnel and the water, aka going through the portal to the new age of Aquarius. I believe that's what this tunnel with the water is symbolizing, this person walking through the water. Aqua Aquarius, I believe that this is showing that the age of Aquarius is coming soon.
A war is coming to the surface, and I'm bringing the wrath of the seven seas with me.
But what could be greater than a king?
A hero.
That the age is about to change, and that this new age that the Illuminati, that these Luciferians are waiting for is coming. The arrival of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, the arrival of their Antichrist. That is what I believe that picture, I believe, is showing. As we keep going, another fascinating scene. Again, we've got the red, black, and white imagery. Totally new world order color theme. Again, we are definitely being reminded of it. And what I found interesting, as you look at these two pairs of legs, to me it reminded me of the 11:11 symbolism, which signifies destruction is coming. So again, I don't claim to be an expert. You can call me crazy. These are just the things that I am seeing, but I believe this is an 11:11 right here. And you've got the red, black, and white imagery. Yet again, new world order theme. I believe that destruction is coming so that they can have their new world order. That is what I believe that we are being shown in that particular scene. And what I found even more interesting as we go further or look further at this scene, as we get close to the people that are in these supposed, motorized wheelchairs. What is interesting is that, first of all, you got them in black and white, seemingly like they're in jail. You've got this person on oxygen. Is that because of, due to nuclear fallout? You've got these two who were walking, here. These two now are, one is black, one is white. Again, the duality. And what's even more interesting, you got this person. He has junk food, literally all these modified junk food kind of things in his basket here, and they're eating these things. So they're showing that basically this is major junk and modified food programming. We've got the black and white duality imagery. Are these people in jail? who are slaves to the system. Another question I had is, are these handicapped people possibly representing the general public? Is this what the Illuminati sees us as? Which I wouldn't be surprised. They call people who are not illuminated as they are the profane. So I believe they see us as handicapped, as not knowing any better.
Luxury. We've been programmed. Told how it's supposed to look. Supposed to feel. Supposed to act. But we're done listening. Let's torch this tired act. Watch it burn. From the ashes comes freedom. Freedom from trends, from false influence, and empty symbols. At Gen Air, we answer only to progress. And now, we rise anew, awoken, defiant, limitless. Gen Air, bound by nothing.
Okay, so let's have a look at this commercial. It just shows so clearly the agenda that the social manipulators are trying to push. We open here on this car approaching this mansion down this road. You notice that there's snow everywhere and that the colours are very bland. So this is showing the old way that needs to be gotten rid of. Look how old-fashioned everything is. The colours are bland, black and white. They're downplaying this for this communist agenda. So this is really showing capitalism. This car pulling up to a mansion which is very ornate, and it's a capitalist scene, if you will. And so this is pushing against it. So as we draw up, you notice everything is old-fashioned, as I said, and you see that this is a high heel shoe which represents the feminine power over the masculinity. So she gets out of the car, and straight away after that we see the feminized male. Straight after that symbolism, riding on a bike, look, through this dimensional portal. So it's revealing to you that this is also a dimensional thing. It's from the other side of the veil. This agenda is demonic. Behind him there, that is a dimensional gateway. And inside this mansion, she could even be the queen. You must have seen in this truth movement the amount of times that they have pointed against, they've exposed the elite that need to be overthrown in this revolution. And that's exactly what this is showing here.
Told how it's supposed to look.
You hear the narration is constantly reminding us of the old way of things, that this old way, this old society needs to be overthrown into this new world order.
Supposed to feel.
We've been programmed into this society that needs to be gotten rid of, that needs to be overthrown. And you notice again the colours. They use these colours as a form of programming. They're using bland black and white colours to represent the old system, the old moral compass, the old religion, which is Christianity in the West. And you constantly see this contrast between this elite party here in this house. And I'm telling you, the truth movement has been set up to expose the elite on purpose in order to generate a grassroots revolution.
Supposed to act.
So you see at this table, it's talking about this old structure is so bland and boring. And the parallel of what this is representing is that Last Supper. It seems like we've seen it before, this Last Supper, before the beast comes out of the pit, like an inversion of the Last Supper. And it seems to be kind of what they're representing here, this last moments of the old world order. And you see, then we draw in on this Antichrist Jezebel Luciferian figure, probably the mother goddess, the Jezebel. She's looking at herself in the phone. It's about self-indulgence.
But we're done listening.
And then we get this breaking out of the pit. You notice maybe like in the basement of this house that you start to get these weird, twisted, upside down figures. Remember the Sabbateans, their religion, their cult was all about turning everything upside down. And that's what we're seeing here, is that the beginning of this Antichrist, Luciferian, New Age, and dreadful communist revolution. Look at the symbol on this, on her leg, she's got the 8-pointed star, the Ishtar gate. It's about opening the gate with the Masonic floor, the birth of the false religion of Jezebel, of turning everything upside down, everything that we once knew. So you see this figure coming out of this basement with the 8-pointed star, hypersexualized, like the prostitutes of Artemis, the cult of Diana, over-sexualizing women and masculinizing women, as opposed to what it was before, where you had like these older ladies, but they're portrayed as very undesirable. This whole scene here, I mean, you can't deny that this is just in your face, trying to make you despise what you see here.
But we're done listening. Let's torch this tired act.
Let's torch this tired act. So we start this whole sequence of a revolution, and this is key. This is key to understand here, is why do you think that they are showing the crown being set alight into flames?
And then as we keep going into the commercial, it switches to this woman walking through this hallway. Now it actually becomes quite sexual and perverted a little bit in this commercial, and I actually had to edit out a particular scene with a naked woman. I didn't want to bring any glory to that kind of thing. I didn't want to show any nakedness on my channel. But we see these people all over each other. But what's interesting, even apart from the nonsense they're doing in this hallway, they are wearing these particular virtual reality glasses. Now, this is being marketed by Google and by many other people as the Oculus. Okay, this is, something, they call it the gear stepping into a rift, looking inside the Oculus, literally talking about let your mind explore. Oculus radically redefines digital entertainment. Immerse yourself in games or go inside your favorite movies, time travel, space travel, or hang out with friends in virtual reality. They are definitely trying to push onto us a augmented split reality. We know this is happening with this whole Pokemon Go phenomenon, and they want people to come more and more into the Matrix, into this augmented reality.
Come with me. This is the Oasis. It's a place where the limits of reality are your own imagination. People come to the Oasis for all the things they can do, but they stay because of all the things they can be. I'm here talking to all of you now because our future's being threatened. Go, go, go! I just came here to escape, but I found something much bigger than myself. I found my friends. I found love. And now, people have lost their lives. No.
This is war. We're in control of the future.
Find him.
Welcome to the rebellion, Wade.
You don't tell anyone who you are. You can't use your real name. Hold on to something. This isn't just a game. I'm talking about actual life and death stuff.
What's going on?
Just practicing my Mario Kart. Hold on!
Ask yourself, are you willing to fight?
Reality doesn't believe in the impossible. It doesn't believe in moving without limits or breaking the laws of physics. Reality will never let you enter magical realms. Will never let you stop time or wield a lightsaber. But that doesn't mean you can't. You can have more than one body. You can have more than one world to explore. Because reality is yours to defy.
Okay, it's interesting that, they're actually using Obama, for this Oculus ad. And, this is, to me, characteristic of what is happening in this day and age, that this whole imagery of the Oculus is definitely occultic. They want people to come inside the Matrix, and it reminds me of this movie that came out, I believe, a few years ago, and lo and behold, how interesting that it was called Oculus, and it was about a mirror that you see what it wants you to see. So basically the mirror was like a portal. Demonic entities were coming in and out of it. They were possessing people. And if we look at what even Wikipedia says about this film, it says that the film takes place in two different times, the present and 11 years earlier. Go figure, number 11 for destruction. The two plot lines are told in parallel through flashbacks, with many cuts occurring between corresponding actions in each time frame. In 2002, software engineer Alan Russell moves into a new house with his wife Marie, 10-year-old son Tim, and 12-year-old daughter Kaylee. Alan purchases an antique mirror to decorate his office. Unknown to them, the mirror is malevolent and supernaturally induces hallucinations in both adults. Marie is haunted by visions of her own body decaying, while Alan is seduced by a ghostly woman named Marisol, who has mirrors in place of eyes. Over time, the parents become psychotic. Alan increasingly isolates himself in his office, and Marie becomes withdrawn and paranoid. During the same period, all of the plants in the house die, and the family dog disappears after being shut in the office with the mirror. After Kaylee sees Alan interact with Marisol, she tells her mother. Marie and her husband fight, and one night while he's away, she sees herself bleeding from an old scar in the mirror. She goes insane and attempts to kill her children, but Alan overpowers her and later says the children are not to visit their mother, who is unwell. Anyways, you can go look into more of that movie, but I believe this whole Oculus imagery is pointing to what is really going on, that the devil is trying to bring about literally hell on earth, that he wants to possess people, that he wants to control people, that he wants people to come into his reality, and they make it look so nice, they make it look so sophisticated, they make it look so pretty, they make it look so alluring, and it draws many people in. I know even many of my relatives even are into this whole Oculus thing, where you can literally hook up your smartphone to this pair of glasses and literally go through literally like an alternate reality. So this is what is happening in this day and age. I never ever thought I would live to see some of these things, but I'm just floored by what is taking place in this day and age, this alternate reality that is definitely coming. The great deception is definitely coming very soon, and I believe that is what we're being shown in this commercial as this woman walks through this hall. It seems like literally like a house of burlesque, or a house of horrible things that are taking place. People are all over each other. Even the scene with the naked woman, she's in the shower and she's totally naked naked, and she has also one of these pairs of glasses on and groping about all over in the shower. So it's like, you know, showing very sexual stuff as well with this Oculus. So I guess they're trying to say that people can indulge in whatever fantasy that they want as they wear these glasses, and they can help them to, you know, achieve all kinds of different fantasies because of that thing. And, you know, as the scene goes on, we see this woman walking towards the light. To me, this was signifying illumination via the Oculus. Is this trying to show that as people get more into this Oculus, as people move more into the Matrix, is it going to move them to the illumination of Lucifer? Definitely not the illumination of Christ, of Yahweh and his word, but the illumination of Lucifer. That is what I believe is being shown in this commercial.
Because this ties in to this grassroots revolution, and it ties in to what I've termed Operation Guy Fawkes. Now think back to Guy Fawkes and, you know, the fact he was a Jesuit and that he was trying to burn down the Houses of Parliament, and it was at the time when King James was working on the King James Bible. So this is representing that burning down of the Protestant West and the overthrowing of authority. And how many times have we seen in the truth movement, in the mainstream truth movement, that they talk about bringing down the monarchy and bringing down authority? So I really think that this is what this is showing here, the destruction of Protestant Christian West.
Watch it burn.
Watch it burn, and the things he's saying. Look at these demonic figures coming out of the pit, the bottomless pit, with the smoke in the background, and this fire as his teeth. This is representing the other side of the veil, coming through these, you know, these gates and through this chaos from the ashes. Look at that.
Comes freedom from the ashes.
From the ashes comes freedom, he says, and we have these demonic figures dancing about with the smoke of the pit. So from the ashes of the old world comes the new world, and this, so, you know, false freedom, this false peace. And look at the colours. Look at the colours they're using to inspire your, you know, passion. Red, the colour of passion. As opposed to what it was before, when we had black and white and horrible, mundane, bland colours. And now we've got the pit opening, and we've got these vibrant red colours coming out. So this is trying to brainwash you into wanting this communist revolution and wanting this new age of the Antichrist and this hypersexualization. Now look, now we go to a shot of the sheep, again in black and white. These sheep so basically it's telling you that if you don't want to go along with this depravity, that you are a sheep,
freedom from trends,
and that all you want is the old bland program system, which we're all so bored with. And so, you know, you're called a sheep because you don't want the Antichrist, Lucifer, and New Age. Now, of course, the sheep is also representing Christianity, and the black and white colour scheme is attached to conservative. So you can see that they are showing conservative Christians, the sheep, the Christians, as bland, and we need to move on from that.
Freedom from
so overthrowing this old system and onto this, you know, new age of just evil
influence.
And we see here the cube and the machine as part of this new. We're in the secret chambers. You see, you know, we're in like dark greyed rooms with smoke
and empty symbols,
and the pearls of wisdom of the Gnostic new age of Antichrist, of the Enlightenment. See, the pearls also represent wisdom. So, but it's false. It's false wisdom. It's not true wisdom of the Bible. This is the false Luciferian religion. And Jezebel is behind it. Here's the cube.
Answer only.
Here's this is the smoke of the abyss and Pandora's box. And he's saying over it about progress. To them, this is progression. This is what the progressive narrative is pushing. To open the doors of the bottomless pit. Here's the machine shot. The cue
rise anew
to open Pandora's box, the wheel of fire, ring of fire. This is all to advertise an oven. And they're using the symbolism of the oven to show the opening of hell, hell's gates.
Awoken.
And so here we are, the golden age, the opening of the eye, the illumination, Illuminati. Defiant, pushing the boundary. Look at these hellhounds. This is from the secret chambers and the underworld, the hellish scenes, guys, and coming through this overturning of the system. Wow, this is why it's so evil, this, Gnostic religion, because it uses so many truths and just packs them into the Antichrist lie. And that's why we need to be so careful. Look at the symbolism on this lady of the sun, Babylon, the black sun, the Babylonian religion, and she's covered in occult symbols.
Limitless.
Pushing the boundaries, pushing the limits. And that's what this is all about. The liberal ideology was all about pushing the boundaries. But we know that if we don't have boundaries, we don't have protection against the wolf. The Bible, God himself loves us and gives us protection, gives us boundary. The Bible says about the city with no walls. And really what's coming here is the wolf. And if you're not in the sheep pen, then you're going to get savaged. Because we can see here, right there, is the black sun. The black sun is a void. It's like a narcissist, if you will. It sucks energy. It feeds on the sheep, just like the wolf. What does the wolf represent? It feeds on the sheep. So this is what is coming here. This is a wolf. It's telling you to drop all of your boundaries, and it's advertising that the wolf is coming for the sheep, and that is going to bring about this new age of Lucifer. And there's the machine, the opening of the pit of hell. With a J there, look, J with fire in it and smoke, like the anti-Jesus, the false Jesus, the Antichrist, bound by nothing, the opening of the pit. So I really hope you can see that they're pushing for this false revolution to bring about the New World Order, and they're using both the far left and the far right as the two pillars to bring that about. And it started with Donald Trump, Alex Jones, and other people who started to push this it's like dominion theology, and using that to generate chaos, to generate a clash, in order to bring down nations from within and then make them yearn for the New World Order, so that all nations become one under the Antichrist. And that's biblical prophecy. But we do know that after that, we do have a hope that Jesus is coming, and that all of this is leading towards the millennial reign of Jesus Christ, who will reign in justice and in truth. So there is a hope beyond all of this. But this, guys, is a really clear picture that we need to be so careful about what they're pushing in this world. And that, we're not on the side of any of the pillars. We have our eyes fixed on Jesus Christ.
And as we keep going, yet again, another person walking through that same tunnel that we spoke of earlier. I believe this is going back now to this particular scene right here, the black and white duality, this person walking through this tunnel. And as he comes out of the tunnel, there are these people waiting for him. So does this look like he's walking into a fight? Because then they focus on the person himself, who is walking through this tunnel, this person right here, and he's got quite an intense demeanor on his face. So is he just ready for a fight? Is that what is about to take place? Or go figure, he happens to be a black man. I believe we're seeing the whole, race wars being depicted here as well. We see what happens as he gets close to these people. They're all actually wearing masks. They all look like him. They to me, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but are these white men wearing masks of black faces? So is this race wars propaganda, but they're showing that they're really only fighting themselves? So this person is coming against this crowd and looks like seemingly about to fight, but they look like they're all just pictures of himself. So really showing that race wars are just nonsense. There's no need to fight, that we are all the same. It doesn't matter what color of skin we are all human beings. We are all loved by Yahweh our Father. He sent his son Yeshua to die for every single one of us. None of us have an elite or unique position with the Father. We are all unique to the Father. None of us are separate. We are all to be together. The race wars is something that the elites want to push onto people to cause more chaos and to cause more nonsense. And as we keep going, we see people on a train, everybody literally on their smart devices, right here, here, and here, and totally ignorant of what's going on. But I found interesting, and again, I could be wrong, it seemed to be a one-eye symbolism going on right here, almost literally watching this woman here. So you got some one-eye symbolism. You got people just, oogling their phones. They couldn't they couldn't care less as to what is taking place in the world. So again, like looking into the Oculus, they want to look through their phones. I think the phones have been programming, these smartphones have been programming and getting us ready for this next step, which is the Oculus, that is coming, that is actually already out right now. And as we keep going in this commercial, this person, that seemed to be ready for this war, this gang fight, literally just walks through these people, because to me, this is just showing that they are the same as him, that we are all the same. We are all flesh and blood. We all have red blood on the inside. And he just walks right through them, because I believe the Illuminati is showing that these race wars are just caused by them, that there's no need to fight. There's no need to go through these things. But, this is exactly what they want people to do. They want people to fight. They want people to come against races. They want people to come against, any other thing. And they want us to have all these differences and divide and conquer the general public.
And made it out alive.
I can see you.
The world is changing. Soon, there will only be the conquered and the conquerors.
Step into the spotlight.
You are a good man.
Step into the spotlight.
With a good heart. And it's hard for a good man to be a king.
The Black Panther, who made his big screen debut in the recent Captain America Civil War movie, will now be receiving his very own feature film. It comes out next year, February the 16th of 2018, and I'm not even going to bother trying to break down much symbolism in this video. I'm not going to show screenshots. I simply want to show some information as to what I believe is being shown here. It is all about the fifth age, the golden dawn of Lucifer, or the golden age as many of the Luciferians are waiting for. And even in this poster alone, you could see the gold all behind this guy. You can see even the star of Ishtar, the eight-pointed star of new beginning, of the new age, the fifth age that is going to dawn upon this earth. It is all about the final age, the final kingdom, where the return of the fallen angels and their offspring, the Nephilim, will be ruling this earth once again, just as it was before the flood. Is exactly what the devil wants. He wants his kingdom restored. Even the letters of the Black Panther, you can see the gold silhouette behind it. Again, you can see the gold all behind the Black Panther, and of course the two horns, always symbolizing this Baphomet kind of symbolism. And I think, again, this is all about the golden age that is coming. However, they want you to think something else. So according to IMDb, it says T'Challa, the new ruler of the advanced kingdom of Wakanda, must defend his land from being torn apart by enemies from outside and inside the country. So basically it's about this new ruler. He has powers and he has to defend his country. But really, I think there is more than meets the eye to what we are being shown here. All right, so as we look at some information, now this place Wakanda is a fictional nation appearing in these comic books by Marvel, and is the home to this superhero, the Black Panther. But what I find quite interesting about this Wakanda is quite telling, I would say, in my opinion, because it is a very advanced civilization. You can see just by the architecture in this particular picture, as well as what you saw in the trailer, that it is very futuristic. It is very technologically advanced. You've even got these flying craft that again are very, very super advanced. To me, this is reminiscent of most likely the technology that was around before the flood, and possibly what was used to build the mega structures that are throughout the earth, like the pyramids, stuff like the Mayans and the Aztecs and all these kinds of things. All of the fallen angel technology, I believe, is what we are being shown here. So this is, to me, taking us right back to the very first golden age, I would say, of the fallen angels, of the Nephilim, the kingdom that they were trying to build many millennia ago, which Abba Yahweh had to destroy because they were corrupting mankind. Even in ancient hieroglyphics, this is something I believe from Egypt. We can see pictures that look like spacecraft, or I shouldn't say there's no such thing as space, obviously, for those who believe in the true cosmology, but these very interesting aircraft that are right there depicted in these ancient hieroglyphic Egyptian drawings that have been found. And so it's quite interesting that possibly they were denoting this special craft that these beings flew in. Even this was shown in the movie Stargate. You know, this goes way back to the 90s with James Spader. And of course, they found all kinds of technology that took them through a portal, and they ended up in a different, of course, they want to make you think that they went to a different planet, but it really, to me, was possibly a spiritual dimension, or possibly Hades, whatever you want to call it. I believe they showed a lot of different kinds of technology in this movie. Again, what these different creatures or these fallen angels can do. They have some crazy technology, and it's interesting how they use the pyramids as their ships and all that kind of thing. So we are being shown a lot of similarities as to what I believe was going on before the flood, possibly afterwards as well. Something else that really caught my attention, and this goes along with this golden age that is coming, was the person that was being questioned by the CIA in that scene with the chairs, and the Black Panther was behind the glass window. He made mention of this El Dorado, which many believe is in South America, but he was saying that it happens to be actually in Africa. And now this El Dorado just so happens to be Spanish for the golden one, or El Hombre Dorado, which is the golden man. So we constantly keep seeing the same theme of gold in many movies, in much symbolism, even in music videos, TV shows. We see this a lot, this golden, or this gold imagery, or I believe possibly the golden age that is coming. Lucifer wants very much to restore the kingdom that he had back before the flood. And even if you look at this tribal ceremony for this El Dorado, it says here, now this was written in 1638. The ceremony took place on the appointment of a new ruler. Before taking office, he spent some time secluded in a cave without women, forbidden to eat salt or to go out during daylight. The first journey he had to make was to go to the great lagoon of Guatavita to make offerings and sacrifices to the demon which they worshipped as their god and lord. During the ceremony, which took place at the lagoon, they made a raft of rushes, embellishing and decorating it with the most attractive things they had. They put on it 4 lighted braziers in which they burned much amok, I think is what that says, which is the incense of these natives, and also resin and many other perfumes. The lagoon was large and deep, so that a ship with high sides could sail on it, all loaded with an infinity of men and women dressed in fine plumes, golden plaques, and crowns. As soon as those on the raft began to burn incense, they also lit braziers on the shore, so that the smoke hid the light of day. At this time they stripped the heir to his skin and anointed him with a sticky earth on which they placed gold dust. So again, there's this gold, just like here they're wearing golden plaques and crowns, so they placed gold dust so that he was completely covered with this metal. They placed him on the raft, and at his feet they placed a great heap of gold, again, go figure, more gold, and emeralds for him to offer to his god, which is the demon basically. In the raft with him went 4 principal subject chiefs, decked in plumes, crowns, bracelets, pendants, and earrings of all gold. There you go, yet again more gold. They too were naked, and each one carried his offering. When the raft reached the center of the lagoon, they raised a banner as a signal for silence. The gilded Indian then threw out all the pile of gold into the middle of the lake, and the chiefs who had accompanied him did the same on their own accounts. After this, they lowered the flag, which had remained up during the whole time of offering, and as the raft moved toward the shore, the shouting began again with pipes, flutes, and large teams of singers and dancers. With this ceremony, the new ruler was received and was recognized as Lord and King. This is the ceremony that became the famous El Dorado, which has taken so many lives and fortunes. So to me, this sounds like the coming of the false Messiah, this ceremony to usher in the new ruler. They had to offer gold. He was even decked out in gold. Everybody was wearing gold. So really, to me, this is just really showing again the golden age of Lucifer. That is coming very, very soon. And I will leave these links so you can read up on this yourself. I believe we are being shown very blatantly about this golden age, that it's all about the return of the Nephilim, the fallen angels, exactly as Isaiah 13:3 talks about. Then the scene switches to something that I found quite interesting. We've got this woman dressed in black, and all these females, these women here dressed in blue, but they're all lifting up something, a stick that is shining. And at first I thought it was a hockey stick or a golf club, but when I looked more closely at this, it seems to be showing a picture of the general public focused on self rather than being aware of the reality of what the elite are doing. I believe this woman represents the elite, and as they lift up this stick, they are giving this person access to just slip right through, as they are just concerned with themselves. And they want people focused on themselves. They do not want people to look at or investigate as to what is going on. They want people focused on themselves. Take your selfies, go on your trips, your vacations, eat your food, eat the genetically modified foods, consume all the chemicals, allow them to dumb you down so that you do not know or are aware at all what is happening. They want to bring people together. They want to bring, this false unity, this fake peace, and, peace and harmony and love and all this nonsense. They think that bringing people together is, a great thing. We're going to separate our, or get rid of our differences and come together. But, this coming together is only going to be for the beast system. It's not going to be a real peace. It is going to be a false peace. And we need to realize that companies like Adidas are definitely part of the Illuminati. If you look at even their logo, we can see the Illuminati pyramid. We can see the 666 and the 3 lines. That is what I believe is going on here. We can see that, even in former ad campaigns, they've got campaigns that say cause chaos, control everything. You got an upside down V, which to me signifies the 5th age. They're going to control everything in the 5th age and the New World Order. They want to cause chaos. So, people who are awake can definitely see what is taking place here.
The course. Chaos lives here. In the rough, the bunkers, the hazards. Chaos cannot be solved or predicted. Focus your energy and harness chaos. Break free of tradition and drive yourself to create your own future. The journey continues within and on the course.
Chaos is here. Christians are being portrayed in their media, in the mainstream media. We've already got this huge attack on Christian alternative media as it stands. This channel is under attack from that. But we're seeing it more and more that the Christian point of view is being portrayed as bland, boring, encroaching on human rights, restrictive, and worthless. I mean, if you look back into the 1970s, you can trace some of the beginnings of this agenda taking shape. Pink Floyd, You're Just Another Brick in the Wall. It was all anti-authority, trying to generate a revolution, this social conditioning. You know, if you read the lyrics, we don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. Teachers, leave them kids alone. So this is all about disrespecting authority to turn everything on its head. And if they can get people to start disrespecting authority and ignoring instruction from authoritative figures placed above them, then eventually why would they listen to the instruction from the Bible, opposing anyone who stands against them as this barrier, this wall that needs to be broken? So teachers, leave them kids alone. Teachers, it doesn't necessarily only have to be in a school. This could also be referring to pastors in a church. Teachers, leave them kids alone. Let them do what they want. Stop inflicting barriers and boundaries and moral guidance. Parents, leave your children alone. It's all the same thing. And incrementally, it turns into a massive anti-Christian agenda. And then another example, do you remember that Taco Bell commercial called Routine Republic, where it followed these two main characters, this man and this woman, who were stuck in this oppressive regime, this fascist dictatorship. And notice that all of it, again, all of the colours are dismal and grey. And you hear the same hints all the way through this going, you know, different is bad, routine is good. And what it's really representing when it comes down to it is that tradition, routine, structure is bad. And that this is what we need to overcome for this Luciferian New Age. And in fact, in this video, the man and the woman break out of this regime and they break through the wall. And all of this is propaganda to represent the coming of the lawless one who breaks us out of this so-called cage that we have in society. So by the time you get to the end of this, with all these various attacks on the public's perception of Christians and Christianity and the Bible, you get a whole generation of people who see Christians as this fascist, dictating, Nazi enemy that we really could do without. And it was the same in J.K. Rowling's new movie, you know, the author of Harry Potter. This movie came out in 2016 called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And in this movie there's loads of magicians that have learned the craft of magic, and basically it focuses in, it doesn't directly call them Christians, but it focuses in on this family that are portrayed as a cult. And you notice the colouring of their clothes are very bland, very grey and dismal. And you see that this family looks much like what they would call a stereotypical Baptist-looking family to me. They're portrayed as bland, old-fashioned, oppressive, hypocritical, part of a cult, and this family can contribute nothing to a society who are enlightened beyond them. So to me, this is the same portrayal of this old way, this tradition that needs to be gotten rid of in favour of this illumination, this magical world, which is it's the same Illuminati propaganda, just dressed up in different ways. It's an agenda of witchcraft.
Seen it, done it, been there, drove that, stuffy, stodgy, boring, snoring, ho, hum, humdrum, dum, dum, num, num.
ISIS have declared war on Christianity. This is the kind of story that ought to be dominating cable news, and I don't think that narrative is getting the attention it should get. War on Christianity. The press in America should be full of headlines about this.
dismal, boring, bland colours and the oncoming new age of magic. When you get to the core of it, these words are being used to describe Christians. The agenda of Babylon.
Do you understand? This is who they are. And this great awakening is nothing less than them telling you that they are here. They are coming into this natural world. And Q is literally legion. It is the great old ones working in the quantum field, just like Gordy Rose tells us.
So I received this message from the heavens. These things are not going to be people. They might be really smart, they might be really good at all sorts of different things, but they're not going to be like us. They're going to be aliens.
They tell you everything. This great awakening is literally shown to us right outside of Washington, D.C., in Alexandria. The Great Awakening. This is literally called the Awakening. And this where we go one, we go all that I see everywhere is the literal oath sworn by the fallen angels on Mount Hermon.
Where we go one, we go all.
Where we go one, we go all. That we can read about in Enoch 6:4, the backwards 46, just like Genesis 6:4. There were giants in the earth in those days. Let's look at Enoch 6:4. And it came to pass, when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of the heavens, saw and lusted after them, and said one to another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Semjaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered, verse 4, they all answered and said, Let us swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. And they swear, they all together,
Where we go one, we go all.
And bound themselves by this oath. And there were 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon, and they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves to an oath upon it. Do you understand? Mount Hermon, Donald Trump just had a settlement named after him in the Golan Heights. In the shadow of Mount Hermon, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Isaiah 14:14. And they officialized this settlement on Trump's 74th birthday, June 14th, which just happened to be the month of Saban in the 22nd day. 3-2-2. None of this is an accident, and it's all coming upon us. This insurrection, this rebellion by these oath keepers, the fallen.
This is easily 100 times cooler than Armageddon. I swear to God. Burn, 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 burn. Bam!
Sweet! Oh, dude, I hope this guy's got asteroid insurance, because he is so bold. What is that? Something in the tree, dude. No, there's something in the thing by the tree. Did you guys just give me a space rock?
Matt, it certainly looks like a dire situation from where we're standing. About $300 billion worth of issuers have already seen their debt downgraded. That's the most since 2015, but it's likely to get worse. According to S&P Global, 111 issuers are at risk of losing their investment grade status. That is a record. And in some way, the environment was really ripe for this to happen. Before the crisis, more than half of issuers in the investment grade space were the lowest rated. So once you get the coronavirus pandemic, oil prices fall, you get a lot of this debt at risk.
Manifest more and more as we move forward here. And leading up to Tisha B'Av, there's so much, people. There's a gigantic ritual being performed right now. And so many people are going to be fooled. They're going to be nashat, beguiled by the serpent. The war of sons of light against this is just in your face. These are two squares on the same Masonic checkerboard. Trump's portraying the light when they are two peas from the same mystery religion, Kabbalah, Talmud, serpent pod. They are exactly the same entity. This is who they are. Do you understand?
The coordinates to the cube's location on Earth were imprinted on his glasses.
How'd you know about his glasses?
eBay.
eBay.
If the Decepticons find the Allspark, they will use its power to transform Earth's machines and build a new army.
and the human race will be extinguished. Sam Witwicky, you hold the key to Earth's survival.
Don't be double-minded. Separate yourself. Be born again. The blood of the Lamb is the only way to the Father. But they believe they're going to go another way. Genesis 3:2:2, lest they take of the tree of life and eat and live forever. This is what's going on, and they're going to take as many souls with them as possible.
Mr. Brand, gentlemen, this is the legacy handed down to us by Zerg.
Our orders are to burn all the books and gather up supplies. If you come across any refugees, you will bring them forward. The calf is our symbol! Each man will wear it with pride!
How would you say if everything that you knew was a lie?
Roxy, you forgot your diary. You wouldn't want to leave this behind.
Do you know Professor Diedrich? He told me not to get the chip. He said the bombings were planned.
The housing collapse, the financial collapse, all part of a sick plan.
The man himself, Mr. Zerg!
Roxy, almost everything in your diary has a prophecy.
By his own will, can a man rule the world?
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
So be separate, be born again in Christ Jesus. I pray you're all well. Peace and grace to all of you. Many fish.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God,